everyone, welcome to Ember Blake Writes. I'm Ember Blake and I make videos about writing and my journey towards becoming a self-published author. That goal is looking farther than ever. Is it true that we have one weekend before camp? So here's the scoop. I guess I'm ready for camp in that I am as ready as I will get. At the same time, I feel completely unprepared. Thought I'd give you guys a little rundown of all of the other life stuff that has been thrown my way. I know it's excuses, but this is why I'm not prepared. I'll try to wrap this up as quickly as possible because I could definitely rant about this for quite a long time, and I value your time. But I wanted to at least kind of summarize all the crazy stuff that's been happening in the old Blake household and how we've been dealing with it. First things first, Kyle and I in our master bedroom, one night it was raining rather heavily, as it is wont to do in Northern Virginia. This time we heard a drip, drip, drip in our master bedroom. Didn't sound like it was coming from outside. It wasn't. I woke up, I pulled aside the curtains, and sure enough, dripping from the drywall was water coming into the house. Fortunately, we have a family friend of ours who is a contractor. He was able to come out really quickly and take a look at it. Turns out our gutters were full, which is very surprising. I'm not going to give a tour of the area around my house, but suffice it to say there are no trees nearby, and the only tree that's even remotely close to our backyard is a pine tree. So you'd think those needles wouldn't blow all the way up to the third story of the top story of a 3-story townhouse, but aerodynamics. Anyway, so it turns out my beloved daughter is barking. Chloe, come here. Oh, hi. Thank you for coming. Why don't you sit down? That way you're not barking during Mommy's video. Good girl. Okay, so the good news is we were able to solve that problem in the immediate future quickly and relatively low cost. However, we will probably be changing and replacing our gutters because it looks like the gutters have been bent and are therefore collecting fluid in their little dip and debris and stuff, and will most likely clog again. This is already the second time we've had to clean out our gutters, and considering there's not a ton of oak trees or something hanging directly over our house, it seems a little bit frequent for us and our taste, especially considering our townhouse is 3 stories tall and it's not something we can just repair on our own. So anyway, that was thing number 1. Thing number 2, last Friday, woke up, house reeked. I have no idea why it smelled so bad. It just smelled horrible. And we were like, what are we gonna do about this? Because it smells really, really bad. We took out the trash, we did the dishes. It didn't seem like it was coming from either of those things, but we did it anyway. I came home after work and I opened up the windows. It still smelled horrible. It smelled like something had died. Spoilers, something had died in our fridge. It was a mouse. Kyle actually ended up coming home early that Friday. The poor guy had a headache and he still was just amazing and such a trooper, and he, with a screaming headache and the house really hot from having the windows open, crawled behind the refrigerator, opened it up, and cleaned out the dead mouse. And I love you, boo. After that, of course, we had to do a lot of other cleanup because there was mouse poop and pee everywhere. So we did that. We had to go to Lowe's. We had to go buy a whole bunch of mouse traps. And then while we were cleaning everything up and placing the mouse traps, we found where they came in, which was in this little vent underneath our, you could call it our deck, but a little vent that was supposed to bring in fresh air for our HVAC. Well, brought something else in. So we had the HVAC guy come out and seal that all up. Fun stuff. On top of everything else, work has been crazy. I haven't known for sure whether or not I'm going to be making a last minute trip out to the customer site in the middle of the country until pretty much yesterday. And so that's been like a source of tension because we haven't really known if we need to find a dog sitter for Chloe or anything like that. So that was also crazy. And I think I mentioned this on my channel before, but I have been making a, oh my gosh, did you hear that thunder? It is thunderstorming here, so I apologize if you cannot hear me over the thunder. I've been putting my health first. I've been making an effort to go to the gym, do more cooking at home, making sure I'm like, you know, being more active, and so that means taking Chloe on longer walks and going to the gym for like an hour a few days every week. And that's a lot of time that I've not been able to spend writing or planning on writing. That being said, I did want to share with you all that I have been doing a small amount of writing. I was able to re-outline all of my stuff in Scrivener for burning at both ends, and so now I was able to migrate all of the Save the Cat stuff I'd done into Scrivener, and I really like the way that it's looking. Unfortunately, I can't show you that because it is the second half of my novel and I don't want to give away any spoilers for plots or anything like that. But just know, it looks great. Also, the other day, I did sit down and do a little bit of writing. I only got about, I don't know, like 1,200 words or so. But it's better than nothing, and it was actually a scene I was quite proud of. So I wanted to share a little bit of that scene with you all. Also, as a heads up for camp, I wanted to let you all know what to expect from me during that time. I'll be going on vacation in July, so I will not be able to post videos during that time. I will try to bring my camera so I can film while I'm there, and I'm hoping that if it's not super duper busy on that vacation, to have a little bit of time to try and get something done. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself though, because the fact of the matter is I have a lot of stuff going on, and you know, self-compassion, everyone. It's okay to not be perfect. Also, it is hot as heck here. In Virginia, it's been like almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the entirety of this week, which means I have to do extra gardening because I need to do a lot more watering of my plants. And also it means like I don't want to do stuff outside because I'm like sweaty and gross. So in the scene that I worked on, the main character, Araya, who is a 9-year-old former slave girl and now prophesied savior of the world. In this particular scene, she's having these kind of vivid and strange dreams that are, in which she's almost like inside someone else. In this particular scene, she just had a dream, and in the dream she flailed around and she hit, she just kind of like bonked the person sleeping next to her on the head. And they both kind of woke up, and at this point Araya has been through a lot, especially a lot of lows in her life. She's only 9, she can barely cope with it. But I wanted to share a little bit of her interaction with Nadine, because in this particular scene she really starts to get attached to Nadine, and I also think it really shows kind of like the struggles that she's dealing with as a character. So I wanted to share a little bit with you. I see great power in you, Nadine said. The kind of power that stories and songs are written about. That is not a burden that is easy to bear. Mistakes for you have unfair consequences, and expectations of you should not be placed on anyone's shoulders. But, despite everything, I'm proud of you, child. Araya felt like a great fist was clenching around her heart at Nadine's words. Though her mother let Araya know she was appreciated and wanted, no one had ever been proud of her. She had never even been proud of herself. There was nothing to be proud of. She was nothing. She was still a servant meeting expectations. Only the expectations had changed. She had no more control of her destiny than she did in the cool, damp cellar of that kitchen. The small, invisible girl was shouting inside of her head. "She's lying!" the girl screamed. "Why would she be proud of a nobody? You have done nothing but fail to meet expectations along the way." Araya wept, her own inadequacy ripping her apart from the inside. Nadine held her fast, not saying a word. It was like she knew exactly what Araya was feeling. In a way, she did. She, too, was a servant thrust into a dangerous unknown. It was only after Araya had been weeping for several minutes that she felt a warm drop of water hit the top of her head. Nadine is weeping, too. They clung to each other, crying softly, until they were both spent. "I'm sorry," Araya said. "I'm sorry for everything." "Shh," Nadine said, stroking Araya's short hair. "You have already been forgiven." I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of my book. I've been thinking about including little snippets of what I write when I do write, so I'm hoping to include some of that in my camp vlogs. So look forward to that. But when it comes to this video, it's already done. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.